we're still going along to get along, guys.
So when you
And
ask
this is
about
deep.
us not being educated, you mean knowing what Saint Kitts is or how Saint Kitts became? That's what you mean?
Every aspect of it, Cortensia, because you see, no, European unions are pushing for young people to take leadership in their respective space, in their countries. But when you look at it, Cortensia, are they pushing that because they can manipulate our young leaders? I mean, I remember just recently the Prime Minister was on Freedom, I think was just last year, when he was talking about, and when I listened to the Prime Minister, the enthusiasm in his voice, when he spoke about his German scientists, he had met German scientists. Well, Africa and Nigeria, to be more specific, have great scientists. Cuba has scientists, but the Prime Minister was light when he spoke about his German scientists. Guys, I am not, I didn't leave school with a certificate. I was a dropout because I had to go into the workforce early. And what I'm saying is this, guys. I am aware now. I am knowing. Because when you look at our curriculum, our politics, our religion, they are all external. And we gravitate to it. We swallowed a misery hook, line, and sinker. Now, if you stop and pause for a moment, and just look at all that we got that is external, how does that make us to be who we are? We are becoming more of them than we allow them to become more of us. I mean, we just been to Carnival. The cruise ship was coming in December, early January, and they look at us when we perform in the street, our clown, our masquerade. Do you guys know only we move the way we move in our culture? That's why they are amazed of our moves. They feed off of us, guys. But journey is not in a space of hate. Journey is enlightened. And of such, guys, this is their world, as the scripture says. It is their world. When are we going to create and become like those who were before us? Because make no mistake, guys, when the Bible tells us that God spoke and it happened, things came into being by words. This was our ancestors, guys. When you go to the pyramid texts, these are the evidence that was left in the pyramid text that tells us that they were there before us. But who destroyed the pyramids? Who defaced our civilization, guys? And they put everything in a book. They put everything in a book. I'm going to come off now, guys, but I just want to share this with you, Cortensia, and try. When you look at, for instance, the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not. All of the thou shalt not, guys, these are external. Thou shalt not as to I have not. Where I have not come from, I have not come from within your heart. You are confident within your heart that you have not stole, you haven't steal, you have not commit, you have not killed. Are you following me, guys?
Yeah, we're
These
listening to
were
you.
the principles. These were the principles of my act. I have not covet, I have not killed, I have not steal. As to thou shalt not is external. If you know within your heart, Potentia and Joy, that you haven't committed, nobody can put nothing on you. You know, I know people are in this space because, again, We are in a system of economics. We are at 9 to 5, where we go from Monday to Friday, and then we end up on a weekend where we're weakened. And words are power, guys. I'm in that space too because I do 9 to 5. But all of that is what took us away from the provision that the Most High made for us. I mentioned this the other day, Hortensia and Troy. Genesis 1 to the Most High give us herb for meat. Herb for meat. Someone came, and I think Troy yourself said that, Jesus did something with the 5 loaves and 2 fishes.
Correct.
And this is what man wrote. All of the book is what man wrote, but then you have to discern the truth and apply what is truth to you. When you do your own inner, whether you say biology and knowing what flesh do to flesh as to what herb would do to flesh. Because, Troy, no, I'm going to finish quickly. Adam was created. He didn't come through the womb. But Adam lived 900 and plus years. Now, don't you find something strange with that? A created being that never come through the womb lived 900 and something years, Troy.
Yes, that's what we're told.
Jesus came through the womb of a virgin, and he was crucified at 33. But many of us don't know the symbolism of the 33. 33. But people are just okay in their spaces because many of us don't even read the book. Many of us and the pastors don't read to enlighten the congregation in the book. In the church, sorry. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. And I know even you, Cortez, and Troy, this might just pass over your head because you're all in the enemy. No disrespect to you guys.
It's a little deep for me, indeed. Yes, I don't think I'm qualified in whatever means of discussing, arguing.
Don't say you're not qualified. You're an educated person.
Yes, but lack of knowledge.
I'm
let
not
me put
educated,
it that way.
Troy. I am like Peter. I'm like Peter, James, and John, who are unknown fishermen.
I understand, but I'll probably have to do a lot more digging and studying of the Bible to be able to test you or disagree as the case may be. I don't have the facts to say that is not the case or this is not the case. I just have to go by what we are told in the Bible, what we are told when we have been to church, and of course, obviously, you have your different views about things.
You see, Troy, if you're searching for truth, you'll find it. Because truth is what is going to free you.
Indeed.
And you have to know what you're being freed from. You have to know what you're being freed from, Troy. If the truth will set you free, you first have to know what you're being freed from. Anyway, Troy, I'll give someone else a chance.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you for listening, and thank you for calling and making your contribution.
Yeah, we'll take a break, and we'll be back with John, so stay tuned.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Buster! We run things are run we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Not an in charge like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a infrastructure. You're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hosford's Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hosford's.
Thank you.
And we are back on Island T. It's just about 29 minutes after the hour of 8. I know we normally start at 8:30, but technical issues, we're just going to start. John, good morning. Welcome back to our Island T studios. I heard you on the radio sometime this week. I know you may be going through a little thing. I just want to say a little, but how are you doing this morning?
I'm well, thank you very much. Physically well, mentally challenged, emotionally upset. That's how I feel today.
Okay, John, you can go ahead.
Okay. Today, with all this going on, I thought, well, how could I come up with something that could express what I'm going to bring together everything I hope to be talking about today? And I came up with one small word called maps, a map. Maps have always been the center of things, whether it's lines of demarcation, and that's what I want to discuss today. A few weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to be in the planning office. That's the planning department of the government, and they have a lot of maps. And one of the maps I saw there was a map that designated with a map that had the designation of the territory of St. Kitts Nevis. It was an old one. I think it probably went back it was done in the 70s. And the map showed, it designated areas for tourism, areas for homes, and areas for agriculture. And this map, it was done in the 70s, which I think it was probably done when Frigate Bay development was hatched, the concept of that. It designated the Southeast Peninsula for tourism. And if you think about the period when the map was done, it was a time when I think I heard somebody say, there's a quotation, a very well-known quotation that said that Anguilla has bush, and a road to the Southeast Peninsula is a road to nowhere. And that was the thought of the time. And I believe that was said by statesmen here in St. Kitts. Who would have thought that Anguilla would turn out to house one of the 5 top beaches on the planet? If people had thought that Anguilla's beaches, if you go through these polls, they have some of the best known beaches in the world. I think if that was put into the calculation at the time, I think the policies would be different for their secession from us. But the map itself that I saw had the Frigate Bay area and the Friars Bay area. I think everybody wants to know what he's going to talk about today, because he's one of I'm talking about. I'm one of the people on South Friars Beach, the Godfather Beach Bar. And I only have half an hour here to talk here, and I think I want to challenge people a bit more than cry wolf at the moment. Anyway, going back to the maps, I think if people had more vision, I think they would have kept the Southeast Peninsula as a national reservation, or just like the Mount Liamuga. That name was changed from Mount Misery. Then we've got, I think, what else? We've got the salt ponds. They're national areas. I think the whole of Southeast Peninsula would have been much better kept in its natural state rather than trying to develop. When they were building golf courses over there, or planned to build golf courses, I actually said to some people, that I believe more people would hike the Southeast Peninsula and go bird watching than ever play a round of golf on the Southeast Peninsula. There's more money to be earned by leaving the peninsula as it was than developing it. And 15 years down the line with trying to do Christopher Harbour, I think we could understand, and millions of our money, millions and tens of millions of our money pumped into that we know of, and being businessmen, we don't know exactly what that figure is. So I think being an original national reservation would have been a much better idea. Then I started thinking, okay, what about the beach bars in St. Kitts at the moment? And I thought I'd talk about what is a beach bar. A beach bar is, at the moment, I believe, is as far as St. Kitts is concerned, it's a cultural expression, and it's it's about beach life, things that we do. We go to the beach, we have a cooler, take families, we have picnics and stuff like that. And it's part of our culture. We don't have in St. Kitts a culture where people go on the beach flaunting their bodies, or, like I see them at some of the beach areas where visitors come over and they're standing, lying lines like sardines on the beach, naked, half naked, and enjoying the beach that way. We don't enjoy the beach that way, the Caribbean people. We don't lie next door to somebody half naked that we don't know. A carnival, we might do that a little bit, but that's something I won't talk about that anymore. But foreigners, they think it's okay. A European man would lie right next door to somebody he don't even know half naked. We don't do that. So we have coolers, we have families, we do what we know. I don't have to spend time explaining that, but we do what we do. And it's not just us, it's across the whole region. So beach bars is an expression of that culture. And with everything else, cultures need to be protected, and there are organizations. I'm involved. I was invited to a conference about 15 years ago it was in Grenada. There's a coalition of cultural expression that exists. It's an organization which is led by the UNESCO organization, where cultures are protected. So if you have a song that you feel is disappearing, whether it's a young girl in the ring, la 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 la, if there's a thought, or if there's a chance of that being lost, you can apply to make sure that expression is kept going. And that expression could be dance, it could be movements, it could be buildings, it could be all kinds of things. And I believe that our beach bars is cultural expression, and that has been protected. And at the moment, the bars on South Friars is the last of our cultural expression in that way that has developed in the last 25, 30 years. Okay. And if the bars of South Friars are thrown off or moved or changed, I think we would lose a part of our expression. So I think I'd like to say at the moment, people say, well, what, you guys are just doing business. Business, you have to work with the business climate. You have to go with the flow. And if the business climate is that you have to move, then you move. But I think it goes beyond that. I mean, let's talk a bit about how beach bars have developed in St. Kitts. For me, a beach bar is one man on a cooler. Let me talk about how the beach bars started in South Friars. A man turns up, a young guy, usually very young, he's probably unemployed, he's a mixed fit of some sort, he has a little bit of, he thinks he can make something. We think of a young man, an older man now in Nevis. He's very, very, very successful. I don't know his net worth, but it's a lot more than when I first met him.
Uncle Sunshine?
Oh, you said it, I didn't say it. It's a man with a cooler. And how does it start? You get a cooler, you go on the beach with it every day, and people who come and want to do what I've spoken about before, how people want to express themselves on the beach. Oh, you got a cooler, good. I didn't think about that. How much is your beer? Oh, I got beer, it's a Carib. Okay, the next day he goes, let's talk it in days now. The next day he goes there, he puts a shade. because people say, I want to come to your bar, but, there's no shade. He builds a shade. And then the next day he thinks, well, I can't carry this cooler home with me every day. He leaves his cooler there.
Yeah, build something around.
And build something
protect it.
around that. And people are still coming. And the whole thing is very organic.
Yeah.
It's very organic.
Yeah.
So after 25, 30 years, you have Shipwreck. You have The Godfather. You have Discovery Beach Bar, and others that have tried. And then you find that unscrupulous business people think, okay, beach bars, we're going to build a beach bar. So what do? They do what's happening on Frigate Bay and think they're going to build a beach bar. People are not going to go with that. People don't go to, excuse me saying, I won't mention any names because they want to go at me later on. But the bars on Frigate Bay, there's a couple of organic beach bars. There is, I'll say it, there is Einon's, that's an organic beach bar.
You mean organic as in?
What I just said before.
Because, okay, go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So Einon and Mr. X Chili Shack is organic. And then there's Original Monkey Bar, also organic. All the other bars that's come up after that are not organic beach bars. Okay. It's a concept of, and when they lost the thread, when they lost the concept of the beach bar, they did, and people were not coming. They thought, okay, let's put up some flat screen TVs, and let's just have an Asian menu, Let us have karaoke, all these kind of things, which are failures, total failures, and they really, and whoever's coming up with their new idea, it's going to fail. I know beach bars, at the moment, they don't really understand. Do they have a beach bar? Do they have a discotheque? Do they have a nightclub? Do they have a restaurant? Now, the bars on South Friars Beach, we're not none of those. We're just beach bars. We're organic beach bars. And so I thought I'd just throw that one in. Let's talk a bit about the current situation. I just mentioned a bit now about Frigate Bay and how that's gone on. How Frigate Bay Development Corporation have got involved in the beach bar concept, and it certainly doesn't work. I don't care what anybody tells me. I've been in the music business all my life. I organize concerts, I organize events, not just here, around the world, and I know a lot about that business. I'm telling you, Frigate Bay Strip does not work, and it was built originally in response to the Cricket World Cup, when we were told that thousands of people were going to come here, and the Honourable Mr. Ricky Skerritt, I'll drop names now, decided that we need to have somewhere, and we'll expand the beach bar concept. And Ziggy's became whatever it is now, Vibes or whatever it was before that, and then other people were invited to come and do stuff, and they paved the road straight the way through, and well, we know the rest is history. That is not organic in any form. And you have a situation now in Frigate Bay where people just come on Fridays, Friday evenings. If you go there in the afternoon, there are students playing volleyball, 300-400 white students, Americans playing volleyball at one side. Nobody, you have to wait till a few visitors arrive to have dinner, and after they've had dinner at 8 o'clock, they disappear and let us local people move in, and so the owners are there waiting to see what's going to happen between 8 and 12. Nothing happens until the locals decide they start arriving at 12 o'clock, and that's a big Friday, the big day. It's not working. It's not working. If you're a beach bar owner in St. Martin or other places or in that kind of environment, you're a millionaire. If you're a beach, and that doesn't work in St. Kitts, you're not going to make money. It's unsustainable. The success of beach bars is what we're doing on South Friars Beach Bay. We are providing something that's organic, and the tourists pick up on that. The tourists enjoy that. I was looking online a couple of months ago, and I saw the British Airways had something on there where they were selling the British Airways tickets around the world on the stand. They had a stand at a conference, and this conference, the stand was there, and they want to invite people to get brochures and ways to get tickets to go to their destinations. And when we came to the Caribbean, British Airways, a multi-billion-dollar company, third largest airline in the world, had a beach bar concept. It looked like shiggity shack, it looked like shipwreck as their stand. And British Airways said, this is how the Caribbean looks like. Do deals with the Caribbean. Governments, we want to talk to you about selling tickets around the world. And this is obviously the Caribbean. And it was a beach bar, like ours, So what I'm saying is if British Airways can say, okay, this is what the Caribbean is like, this is what you experience in the Caribbean, and we are doing it, why are we not being enhanced? Why are we not being pushed forward? Why are we being thrown off and be replaced with what? What's going to replace us with? There is no way we watch the numbers of people arriving on South Friars every day when the ships are in. And for you who are listening properly, very carefully, is that you have a beach club at the end of the beach, and they provide a beach club environment, which they sell to the cruise ships. And then as you come down the beach, Mel, you have Discovery, and they're a beach bar. And then you have two other smaller beach bars. Then you have Godfather. Over the years, I've planted 34 coconut trees. It's authentic or a traditional beach bar. And then you have Shipwreck, who in 30 years, he's developed a concept that it works. It works for everybody. Everybody, tourists, expats, people who live here, locals, bands, music, food, everything. There's
Sunday's
nothing.
a hit at Shipwreck.
Shipwreck.
And on Facebook, where they have the announcement of moving you to either Frigate Bay or the Cockleshell Beach, I saw this guy in particular, Paul Coppin. He's frustrated because he's like, this bar is authentically what we want, what we look forward to. And a few other person said they've been coming here for 8 years and this is it. Person says they're not going to go to Cockleshell, they're not going to go to Frigate Bay, they're just going to find somewhere else to hang out. So a lot of persons are under that particular announcement that they made saying, no, we don't want this, we want what we have. And as I said, I don't know if you saw it, John, a local blogger, he was talking about we never asked, nobody asked you all to fix the road. That's what makes it authentic. You're off the beaten track to get to these bars that you want to go to.
I think people say, oh, we should pave the road down to the bars. Now, okay, I come off a cruise ship and I've been other islands myself and I'm looking for somewhere to go. I'm in a rental car and I come off down the Peninsula Road, I do a right into South Friars Bay and it's a bumpy road. And I feel, this is perfect. It's what I'm looking for. It's bumpy. It's it's a bit okay. There's a pond next door to that. Wow, and you do a left to Shipwreck. Oh wow, you do a right, you come to Godfather. It's exactly what you expect. It's exactly what you want. Yeah? And then you arrive there, and then there is John there with his Godfather Beach Bar, and he's doing his English stuff to you, and he's welcoming you. There's some nice music. It's exactly what you want when you're having a Caribbean experience. Whoever telling these people, our government, that I hear intelligent people say, oh, they're squatters on the beach, they're shacks on the beach, and move them. What type of nonsense is that? Coming from educated people, and it's completely the wrong idea. So, going back now, or going forward, we think...
So we have a caller? Caller, go ahead. No. Okay. Okay.
Then, so people then say, well, do you have rights to be on the beach? And let me say that this concept of cultural expression and the evolution of beach bars, nobody thought it was wrong to do that. When in 2005, when the government here was told by the IMF and decided to change from sugar and went into tourism, there was nothing available. Basically, I mean, speaking in general now, there was nothing available for the tourism products except jack tar But there was a couple of smaller hotels around the place. I think there was the Frigate Bay Hotel, and there were some beach bars. And most of those beach bars were on South Friars. You know, the beach bar concept I spoke about was South Friars. And then when the bars continued, I think it was continued as a kind of an unwritten understanding that, when we looked into it, it was as long as you didn't put a concrete construction on the beach, as long as it can be removed within half an hour, like a shuttle house, pick it up and move it. And then you did everything right with your trash and with the environment, then of course it's okay. So in that way, Shipwreck has been going for 30 years, and the collective years for all the other bars, it's up to 80 years. We've been there in numbers of years. The human resource that's been put into that, 80 years. How could suddenly we are told that we have no permission to be there, and you're operating there without a permission, and you're not allowed to run commerce? How could that be? And how do we go to court to prove that? Well, if somebody wanted us off, we had no permission. Why take our tax, business license, food handling license, and liquor license, and all the VAT and the beer tax that's coming in? This beach bars is a big business. It's a big economical thrust. When I go to Rams and buy my stuff, when I go to duty free to buy everything, they know who I am. They know, and I'm the smallest guy in the operation. I'm the smallest. All the others are bigger business than me, and they provide an enormous amount of the amount of ice that we generate. So to suddenly say that we have no permission, we're just squatting on the beach, it's completely.
So what have talks been like with the persons that are in charge of what is going to happen?
What's the one more time?
What has talks amongst you and them been like? Is this the planning unit, whomever you go to?
No, the planning unit, I think planning unit wrote to us back about 8 years ago, telling us about there were going to be a development in the area, and we must think about moving.
Okay.
That was the first thing we had, but at that we were asked to leave as long as 12 years ago, when the owners were trying to sell the land, and also we were told that they want to continue the sale. They wanted to sell it as cleared land. Okay. Which we could, and then we said, okay, fine, we accept that. We found people's land, but then we went and we got surveyors to see where our line is, and we're actually on Crown land.
Okay.
So we're on Crown land, and then the Crown land, the government has the rights to operate the Crown land laws. And so we went to the government. The government actually called us in, and the cabinet spoke to us when it was a unity government, and asked us what did we think and what would happen. And we all told them we're not going to move, or the whole culture which I've just spoken about is very important, and we want to stay. That kept people quiet for a while, but then the quietness was because I think deals were being done with names like Ritz-Carlton. Property developers were coming in from America saying that they want to develop the area, surveying need to be done. So while all that was quiet, we just kept operating, and knowing that we've got some kind of common law rights to be there, some collective rights to stay on the beach, because the government has not said to us we had to leave. They continue to pay, to collect our taxes and giving us business license. So it seems like there are some external powers at the moment who's putting influence on the government to do something completely unattractive for the government themselves and for the people and for the product, the St. Kitts product that we're trying to push. So the question is, who's pushing them, and why are they pushing them? You know, I mean, the iconic view that of South Friars Bay, South Friars North and South, it is said that that view is probably one of the two most iconic views in the whole Caribbean. The one is the Pitons in St. Lucia, where you have to pay money to enjoy that view, 100%, okay, and Southeast Peninsula. And I was very upset the first time when I saw that development at the top, which is now discreetly being hidden by some trees. I mean, if you have a iconic view like that, you don't destroy it. You don't put a development on Yellowstone Park, or you know, you don't. The Pitons, nobody's going to put development in front of the Pitons. Well, who's going to put a hotel in front of a view that's at least 1 million unique viewers look at that. 1 million a year look at that view. And they know, somebody realized that because they've encouraged them to put a hashtag now, hashtag St. Kitts, because they know there's 1 million people look at that. And so what kind of people are we going to allow other people to come in and put a resort on what is basically a swamp? A swamp. Down there is a salt lake, trees, it's a habitat for deers. I've seen deers the size of massive of ponies down there. I've seen 2 weeks ago. I'm not telling people who are telling me. I've seen them.
Yeah,
I arrive
me
on my
too.
beach. I see day tracks on my place. You know, there are turtles. There's leatherback turtles on the North Friars. What are you going to do about that? Because their plans include North Friars.
Yeah.
What about the leatherback turtles over there? The oldest creature on the planet that still exists comes to St. Kitts, and all the other turtles on the Caribbean side. What's going to happen to them? You know, and there are laws in St. Kitts that says before any development is done, there must be environmental impact assessments. That has to be done. Where is that? Show us.
And what's going to happen to the monkeys that?
What happened to the monkeys? And the law in St. Kitts, the law in the books of St. Kitts, before any development is done, environmental impact assessment must be made, and in any development has to include the understanding that the protection of certain species, which involve birds, deers, monkeys, turtles, and the reefs, have to be protected. It's in our laws. It's in the laws, but nobody thinks about that. And in fact, you know, I suspect that there was a law which was called the Beach Act that took all that together, and that Beach Act was rescinded and replaced by an Environmental Act in the 1980s, just before they finished the road over there. And I think that act was repelled, or whatever the word is, a legal term. I don't know what it is, but it was changed to the Environmental Act. The Beach Act spoke about the environment cannot be touched, which meant that people couldn't really touch the Southeast Peninsula. But now, with the new act, of course they can, and now we're talking about doing a development over there, which is absolutely ridiculous.
So is no way that you and the other beach bar owners over there can get into talks with the developer as to retaining the authenticity of the bars? Because we had a conversation yesterday when someone say once the development is done, they might decide to have a bar in their compound called Shipwreck. And we all know that can't work, so I hope Shipwreck has its stuff trademarked, because then that becomes a problem.
Yeah, Shipwreck is worth millions of dollars, as a trademark.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
So if they decide to name something Shipwreck and then put something down called the Godfather,
Absolutely.
what happens?
Well, I think, the suspicion amongst us, and I'll make it public now. The suspicion that we have is that they want us off the land, okay, so that they can have a serious demarcation of where the beach land is, and which means what is Crown land. And in doing that, instead of me being on Crown land, or we are on Crown land, all of us, Shipwreck is a little bit on their land, to be honest with you, is that if we are moved, okay, and St. Kitts still needs a tourism product, which we do, a beach product, if that market would have to be filled. So with us gone, okay, that means that it's so simple just to clear up the area where that's just behind us now, which is that's hard. That's an hour's work with the backhoe.
Yeah.
Clear that up, okay, and then it's left for the developer to put their own beach bars on that area, on their land.
Yeah.
You know, and then only that is that you can say, well, it's then an opportunity if they go through with their development, they can build restaurants there, which they would do, to feed workers that will come and develop the land.
Okay.
You know, and then they'll have a property that I think you would see. I suspect the plan for South Friars is to do a retreat like they have on the retreat now on Frigate Bay.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that Frigate Bay is, and to do that kind of thing on South Friars, because other people can do it better than us. They come here, they think they could do it better than us. They can put flat screen TVs on the beach. You know, they can bring in Oriental barmen and do bar tricks on the bar, and fire on the drinks, and then our people go, and I say to our people, go to most of these establishments, and you don't see a lot of tourists. You see our own people.
Our own people, yeah.
You see our own people patronizing these
We
things,
supported a lot of these things
paying
during COVID.
$27 for a rum punch, paying $16 for a ting. We are paying for that, and it's our people who feel that they will enjoy a new development on there for 5 minutes, but they will go bankrupt. They will go bankrupt. It won't work.
When you say our people, you encompass all of us in society?
I'm saying
or
our people.
just-
Okay. I'm talking about us.
Okay, because I know most of us would like to see Shipwreck and The Godfather
course.
and Discovery survive. Because as you said, they're authentic. We enjoy them. I like Shipwreck. I like my comforters and everything that I go over there and eat.
Of course.
I wish we can all coexist, and the development can build and just work with the businessmen. Because I've seen on the American news where somebody built something, a bar was there for years, and the hotel just made it a little more upscale, but the bar remains the same.
Of course.
And the businessman and the hotel works in harmony.
But I totally agree with that. But why do you need a hotel? Number one. Why do you need how many $1 million was paid to Marriott the other day? $27 million.
Well, let's hope we don't have to pay that to the Ritz.
So the hotels are not full. The hotels are not moved. People are coming to St. Kitts. The tickets will be sold by British Airways if they have beach bars. British Airways is selling that concept.
Oh.
You know, when we have beach bars like ours, in places like ours, more people will come to the island. Watch and see. Move us off the beach, let us go, and let's have a time warp and have a look. It's going to fail. It's going to fail. It's not easy to build a beach bar and to run an operation on South Friars. It is not easy. And there's no way can a company, a person who's running as an investment, can make it work over there. If you cannot work on Frigate Bay, they won't work on South Friars Bay. You know. So why do you want to build a hotel there? Where? You're going to fill out the swamp? And which government sold the lake? I was told that the lake, the pond, is sold. Why? How could you sell that? It's sold.
All that is land, as you rightfully said, they're going to fill it up.
It's fill it up, like in Connery and in the salt pond down there, and fill it up, and then cut I saw some plans of cutting a trench to let the water in, and making a kind of a marina thing into the pond. This is our island, people. This is our island. And this thing about private land and stuff, okay, if a man wants to buy some land, let him buy the land, for sure, we can't stop that, it's commerce, all right? Okay, but I need a permission to go and build a hotel. Okay, come and talk to us next week. Okay, go next week. Oh, we have a meeting going on. We got to talk to the environmentalists. Come back to us. 6 months pass. Oh, we got to talk to the historical society. Go on. And that can go on for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And no hotel is built yet. And then when the people who are in charge then are old and have gone, the younger people who've come forward still have their beach, still have it as it is, and the people wanted to do development, they don't have a development. Because this smoke and mirrors thing of development, development, there are 47,000 people on St. Kitts and 50,000 on St. Kitts and Nevis. Why is it that our country want to live and behave as if we are 40 million people? There's only 40,000 people of us, 50,000 people. Everybody in this island can go to Warner Park on an afternoon. Everybody.
And fit there comfortably.
Sit there comfortable and get a meal within 2 hours. That is what we face. Everybody. So why are we giving these illusions of grandeur? This illusion that we've got to develop and we've got to progress. And progress what? We should just contain what we have, contain it, and make what we have work. Our health system, our education system, the things that we can touch, make sure that they're all working, that all the problems with obesity, with food security, all, health, make all those things work. And when those things are working, then we can start talking about development. We're talking about development, and okay, one last thing I'm going to say. When they come with zone and they come with this and that, there are people who are going to arrive here with bad habits. And those habits are going to be met. And our young people will provide those bad habits, will provide for those bad habits. And then when they start doing that, we'll have a huge criminal activity going on. If you believe what we have now is bad, wait until 10,000 people is living in Nevis there and want to get a line of cocaine.
Oh boy.
See, and who's going to get them that? Our young boys, our young girls, they're going to be sold to whoever wants a bit of whatever they want, and then we will have enormous social problems in St. Kitts and Nevis.
John, it's always a pleasure having you on, giving your commentary. We have to wrap up at this time. I hope everything really works out. I hope what you would have said today, that it have not fallen on deaf ears, but that persons will be willing to come back to the table and have discussions as to how your bars can coexist with the imminent talk of development over in the South France area. Because I wish for everything to work out for the best for all parties concerned.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Found the sound 98.9 WINFM.
Easter is a season of fresh starts, new plans, and moments worth celebrating. This year, crack open extra funds with a TDC Financial Services Easter loan with up to $50,000 available to help you do more this season. Whether you're planning Easter activities, taking care of home projects, traveling to see loved ones, or simply giving yourself some breathing room, TDC Financial Services is here to help. Enjoy affordable rates, fast approvals, and flexible repayment options, all designed to make borrowing easy and stress-free. So don't let your plans stay in the shell. Crack open extra funds with TDC Financial Services today. Apply at TDC Financial Services on Central Street in Bastyr, St. Kitts, or Main Street in Charlestown, Nevis. TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Buster! We run things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Not an in charge like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in
At Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, we don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday and every other Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Heritage Matters on Win Media SKN 98.9. Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you.
And we are back on Island T, and it's just about 11 minutes after the hour of 9. And as we continue along, I was just say something about this a few days ago. We have a young lady that made 102 in Nevis. That's Miss Olga Matilda Francis Jeffords out of Camps Nevis. Happy belated birthday from us here at Island T, and keep going strong. We have a caller? Caller.
Yes, I thought you were going to sing me happy birthday song.
No, her birthday was 2 days ago. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T.
Hi, good morning, Cortensia. I was trying to get in. Is John still in the studio?
No, he left.
Oh, yeah. I did wait in on him. I just wanted to, liaise a little bit with him because he's one of the proprietors of the Godfather Bar. He's the proprietor of the Godfather Bar. So I just wanted to,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I read an article where it says, well, it actually used the word coexist.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not seeing that existence within the beach bar owners and the new developers.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the PLP press conference last evening, and a question was asked by a journalist about what can be done to remedy such foreign developers, investors, and in the case of our beaches, those who would have applied their trade, as I know Llewellyn Keynes, better known as Sunshine, we grew up in Newtown.
Mm-hmm.
He used to come over and Frigate Bay Beach with Wygums, who used to own the Monkey Bar. And he carved his own niche, and he went over to Nevis.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Four Seasons and the Penny's Beach, plans were made for beach bar owners to coexist. So here you have this word is bandied about coexist or coexistence, and we're not seeing it of private lands and crown lands again. Private lands and crown lands. What it would have been such an opportune time for like to say, well, okay, crown land supposed to be in the purview of the government. On behalf of the people, the government will tell the foreign investors, okay, some provisions has to be made. Because now you're saying you're going to relocate the beach bars to another area. Like, for instance, Cockleshell Bay is not developed yet. But you're going to be confronted with the same scenario of crown land and private land. And so you're going to relocate them.
Yeah, but
you're going to relocate them.
Over at Cockleshell, isn't that privately
over 10,
owned
15
land?
Years. Pardon me?
Over Cockleshell, isn't that privately owned land?
But what is crown land? In my mind, when the government, when the article said crown land
isn't lands owned by the government?
Yes. You know, it could be like on the borders of the beach and that area there. You understand? Hold on, I have to go though. Someone is calling me.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks for that. Yeah, but I think crown land is what is owned by the government. That is what. Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Where is my boy? Is he under the weather? No, yesterday he didn't sound. He sounded a little stuffy.
No, I think he's doing good.
Okay. All right. Good morning, Quint, if you're listening. No, I was listening to John, right? And he said something there that perked my ears, which I think he's right. He talked with when you look what he said about when these people come in, they're gonna come with some habits, some bad habits.
Yeah.
which is a fact.
Oh boy.
It is a fact, let me tell you. We're going to see and hear some things happening in our country that we never thought would happen. You think nowadays young girls are going missing? One-on-one? They're going to be going by the twos and the threes. Missing. Because we're inviting all kind of people in the country, especially these deportees. That story, that went silent. Have they reached our waters yet? Our shore yet? Are they on the island and we don't know?
Oh boy.
Because that went quiet. So we don't know if the deportees are already on island. Boy. Because as usual, think if the government don't really tell the people anything. You got to hear it from the Coconut University, as Carl will say. Under the mango tree. But anyway, no. Why is it when we talk about development, it's always some hotel? Only hotel we could put down.
Oh boy.
Only maids, clean as think as people can be. When I think of development, we should be looking to about manufacturing plants and the industrial site, developing that. And John talk about the salt. I always talk about this. This just hurt because we destroy our natural resource.
Yep.
God gave us the salt, one of the natural resources we had on island, and we destroyed that. If the government had vision, I always say we should have been at least have a salt factory, manufacturing factory where we could have been selling our natural resource. Realize we have nothing.
Nothing, yeah. I say that all the time. I sure you hear me say it all the time. We have nothing other than tourism and maybe a small bit of agro-processing or something. We don't have much, and it's sad to say
we don't have anything.
That's why we won't be of interest to where you live. because we have nothing. Only
But-
sun and
but-
sand and
but
sea.
Catencia, you use an interest. Even though we don't have anything. I remember I said to you the other day. I said on the show, the land. Yeah, so they're coming for the land.
Well, that's the
We
only
have
little
nothing
thing
but-
we. Yeah, well, that's the only little thing we
Exactly.
have, and then.
And they're coming for that.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Mm.
And the word of God said, without vision, the people perish. And we put people in office all the time. Their vision is limited. It's in their pocket and their switch bank account, and they enrich themselves. And when it comes to the people, the only thing, give us a prison, lock us up, and give us hotels to clean.
Boy.
I mean, really? Where is the development, real development? Where is the skill factories to teach the young people a skill, a trade? So they have something. Where are they? They're not there because all they want is give us hotel. So go clean. Only clean we could clean.
Oh boy.
And nothing wrong with cleaning, but still, come on, we can't see beyond that.
So what sectors would you propose that we get into? We see there is an impending trip that's coming up. Hopefully a lot of entrepreneurs will go on that trip, because we'll know after Saturday who's going on the trip.
That just listening to they talk about that they got a picture with singers on it and entertainers. It's more like an entertainment trip.
But I know if that's true, you know. You believe that part? Because a lot of things going wrong. I saw that posted to Cleo, but I know.
I know.
I'm not quite sure.
But then when you talk about the trip, because I think on this same show, I think the person said they had a trip like something like this before. What did we yield from those other trips? Nothing. So it's gonna be the same. Nothing. It's a pleasure thing. I get to go see here, and I went up in a charter jet. And you get to stay up there and grinny teeth and just smile, and they feel like a big king size dung pan. What is it going to yield us? Nothing. It's going to produce what we are normally produce. Zilch. Nothing. And you realize government, they go on these trips, they boast, they go here and they go there, and when they come back, they sell you this vision, and it's a mirage. It don't yield us nothing.
Oh boy.
And today we should be focusing on teaching the children about the computer industry, because as we realize AI is taking over everything. So that should be a big deal there. Technology, that should be a big deal. The young people should, come on, we got to do better. We boast, we got a fertile soil, which I always say we need to stop that mess. It's a joke. Because we can't feed ourselves with the fertile soil. La amiga. Joke. They're not concerned about that. If we look at what's going on in the world right now, we should be focusing on sustainability, sustaining ourselves. We going along, we following everything America said. Trump said do this, they jump. They don't even bother asking how high, they just jump.
Oh boy.
And not realizing that superpower is going down. Catencia, you need to friend me on WhatsApp. And I'm gonna say I could send you a recording of something that I have.
Okay. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
And what's your name on Facebook?
Just what you see on the computer in front of you.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll send you a message there, and you could WhatsApp me.
All right. Do you continue? I'll let somebody else come in.
All right, hon. Thank you. All right. All right, no problem. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
INN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
calling, night, noon, and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time calling, night, noon, and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it.
You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time. It's tea time. Whatever time. It's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
¿Listo para jugar pale, quiniela y tripleta? Con el juego Caribbean Numbers puedes convertir tus números favoritos en grandes premios en efectivo, hasta $20,000. Por tan solo $1, elige tus números y juega a tu manera. Quiniela, pale o tripleta, el que tú prefieras. Acierta los números ganadores y gana efectivo. Es divertido y tan fácil como 1, 2, 3. Tus números a tu manera. Es tu momento. Siente la emoción en cada jugada. Disponible en cualquier agente del Caribbean Lottery en toda la isla. Debes tener 21 años o más para jugar. Por favor, juega responsablemente.
Tire treads gone? Going bald? Don't let this be you. It's time for new tires from TDC Automotive. As the month rolls along, buy 2 or more tires and get 20% off your purchase. Get more savings and safer driving for the roads ahead. Visit TDC Automotive today at Southwell Industrial Estate in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate, Nevis. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid while stocks last.
Here comes the Mega Ball. You could win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4 and you could get all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. Now you can win more with the Mega Ball. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with the Pick 3 and a big $10,000 with the Pick 4. Don't wait, play today. Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide.
You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Must be 21 and over to play.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Biff Mills on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Here are your Hostels Value Match IGA Blue Tag Special.
Running Match 19 to April 1st.
Nabisco Chips Ahoy are just $17.99. Kraft barbecue sauces, $9.99 each. Nissin chow mein and stir-fry noodles, just $5.49. Progressive soups, $13.99. Chawani Greek yogurt, just $5.69. Culinary Circle pizza, $24.99.
And now our value deals. Extra liquid laundry detergent, $12.99. Essential everyday pasta, $4.99. Almond braised, almond milk, $16.99. Speed stick deodorant, $9.99. Essential everyday dry tortilla, $8.99. IG or essential everyday cereals, $10.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en
Value Mart.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Ramsdale good food people always there to serve you. Ramsdale good food people, locations right near you. Ramsdale good food people, in-store specials for you. Ramsdale good food people. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Ever feel like tonight could be your night? Well, the stakes just got a little more interesting. The Lucky Pick jackpot is climbing, and it's now over $170,000. $170,000. Wow, that's right. For just $3.50, you can win big. The ball drops every single night at 8 p.m. Don't miss your chance to win big. Grab your Lucky Pick tickets at the All Caribbean Lottery locations island-wide. Lucky Pick, it's fast, it's fun, and tonight it could be yours. So play the Lucky Pick.
Back on Island Tea is just about
We're different.
9:30. I am awaiting the arrival of our gentleman for Friday, Dominic. I haven't seen him as yet. And I am also waiting a call from Mr. Delaney as they will speak about the upcoming TDC Inter-School track and field competition. I heard the announcement regarding the tickets, stand tickets, ground tickets, finish line tickets, all kind of tickets. So go out and support the TDC Inter-School track and field meet. As we wait on those gentlemen and as we continue. Yeah, go ahead.
Hortensia, we have to big up TDC. They've been on this thing from the inception, 40-something years, 45 I think it is, and they have been, it started way back in 1976, and from what I gathered, the TDC Inter-School started with 3 schools, Basti High, Keon High, and I think Sandy Point High.
Okay.
And it started out of the sports games masters at those 3 schools, wanting to take track and field to another level and have the athletes compete, perhaps for bragging rights. I know one of those persons was Seymour Davis, better known as Tally, and I think he may have been teaching at the Sandy Point High School back then, and that is where that idea from 3 schools go to all the high schools in the federation, and not to mention that between Sandy Point High, now changed to SEMS from SP where the best be, have dominated this thing. They have won it like 20-something years,
Oh,
so 40-something.
So you didn't get the figure as yet? We have a caller? Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island Tea. Good morning. Hello? Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning to everybody, and greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name to everybody. Now, I would like to say a few things quickly. Number one, without a true biblical worldview, one is not truly educated, and Johnny needs to stop pick and choose what he wants to believe in Scripture and what he doesn't want to believe, because that is how many religions and so are created, by doing that very same thing. You know, it's okay when you talk about the herbs, or when you talk about something like the fishes and so, oh, man, right that. No, you know, you got to be consistent. And thing now, what you have been mentioning, John said, because we're trying to get in, John said $27 million was paid the other day to the Marriott. I would have liked to know if it was ECIUS number one. Number two, why it was paid and who paid it. That's $27 million. You know, I would have liked those questions answered. I wish and I hope the best for them that their businesses would remain over there and that they would continue to do their businesses as usual. Because I think this small local business is very important to the economy of the country, and any country, I think they call them the backbone of the economy, you know. So I would like to see that. But another thing, once government own the land would mostly go to hotels and that sort of stuff. And I always say the biblical way to go is for the government to share freely the land to the families of the country. So that way, your people net worth would increase and you create generational wealth and that sort of stuff, rather than foreigners owning most and getting most of the best of the land, because these hotels are mostly owned by foreigners. Okay? I want to see local people own land, and I think the lands that the families should get really should be big enough so that they can even whether open a small business on that same piece of land, do backyard gardening and that sort of stuff, so that the locals are the ones who benefit in the most. But once government own these lands, they're going to mostly sell them and give them to the foreigners. So you got either one or the two. Either government should do the biblical thing, should the land freely to the families of the federation, the thinkers especially, or government own the lands, keep on owning them, and give them mostly out to the foreigners. But I really wish those businesses over there the best, you know. And like I would like to say again, Johnny need to stop picking and choosing and be consistent with the Bible. It's either all written by man and they want to enslave us, none of it, it is all true, one or little, but you can't pick and choose as you feel it, because like I said, that's how these load of religions and communities, people just picking and choosing what they feel like. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Greg. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning. Okay. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I'm very good. John, in his presentation, asked what kind of people would take an iconic place and put a development there. And I would say to him, the same kind of people who has the audacity to come on the radio and ask the question, do you prefer a Ritz-Carlton or a shack on the beach? No, there's no question of coexistence or accommodation or anything like that. Okay, when it's put in those kind of stark terms, that's the kind of people that you're dealing with. The same kind of people who think that to put a statue of Bradshaw, national hero Bradshaw, in front of what is essentially an Indian monument makes it local, or makes it all right. The fundamental problem is that when we have these kinds of development, local people should be involved, as many as possible, right? They should have replicas of these major projects and so on, and they used to do it. on display for people to see what's coming,
Yeah.
right, and have their input. And that is not happening. What you have is a bunch of people who don't know anything about the kinds of developments that they're approving, deciding.
Why would you
that
say
this
they
is
don't
sustainable.
know? Don't you think they
Because
will have?
they're not experts in those fields. And they don't seem to rely on advice from who are experts or even ordinary people with common sense.
Okay.
Right? That's the problem. They have the authority to do stuff, and they do stuff and mess things up, right? And then there's nothing for it, right? That is the fundamental problem. There's no real consultation, no real input from as many stakeholders as possible before these things are done. And you have to question, why is that so? How come certain people can just come with an idea and it's just taken on board just like that? You know, that makes no sense whatsoever, right? And in that situation, it's the moneyed people, people who have, I guess, power and influence, and foreigners and those kind of things. They come in and then leave us with this mess to clean up in the future. But anyhow, that I think is the fundamental problem. There's no consultation. There's not enough public discussion on these kinds of things that can affect the future of the whole thing. It's not a little bar shop that you're building or something like that. You're talking about major development, and more people should be involved. Okay then.
All right. Thank you for your contribution, Mr. Mackenham. But maybe I don't want to be too assumptive, but maybe they don't include the voices of certain individuals because they just want to get it going so that the jobs can be provided, and how do we say it? We can get people coming to the country. We have big hotel brands. People have places to stay, new places to explore. That's the only thing I can sum all of this up to. They have their consultants. Their consultants probably say, just let's go ahead. Jobs will be flowing soon. So let's proceed so that your people can benefit from all of this. That's the only thing I can see. Troy, what do you say to that? Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. They're saying the sound is too low, so I don't know what we can do on this side. Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Hi, Contency, I'm back briefly just to continue my train of thought from earlier. Yes, so, yes, the coexistence and the crown land and the private land aspects of it. I think that the government on the government side had an opportune moment to bargain, like a bargaining chip with the investors to allow indigenous local bars enhance as they should ought to have been and to retain, because I know there's like, okay, for instance, Fisherman's Wharf down at the Portland area. And now I think I heard a fisherman's restaurant maybe over in one of those hotels over, you know. So the authenticity and the the rights of persons' innovation in terms of copyrights and all of that would be lost, would not be retained by the persons who might be even be displaced, but by taken over by the new owners. You understand? So it's so much is at stake here that on the behalf of the government, they should sit down and negotiate and say yes. Because there has been a precedent that has been set on Nevis down at Pennis Beach, where the ultimate authentic Caribbean experience is for the guests in the hotels come out and go and patronize these small beach bars and so. That is a last lesson. If there were to be a survey put out there in the traveling public, and persons would have read into it who have visited St. Kitts, who have visited a shipwreck beach bar, the Godfather, the Discovery, that would have tell a different story to us, our people here, to say, well, you got to learn to appreciate your own. And the coexistence of a foreign investor and the authentic beach bars can coexist, you know? But don't tell me, because the survey will come back overwhelmingly. I went there Sunday, and I could not get in because my guest chose to go there at a later time than I did told them.
You mean which
have a
one?
seat in the
Shipwreck?
Yes, so we had was to come back over into Frigate Bay.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you
Yeah,
cannot
Sunday.
disrupt that. You cannot disrupt all of that hard work that was put into that where the gentleman has reached now and his staff, as opposed to the cohesiveness and the coexistence, you know, and the crown land aspect. The government always had a bargaining chip, but they don't bargain on our behalf. They doesn't bargain on our behalf.
But why do you
And
think
my
we are not
advice-
included?
My advice to the proprietors of those beach bars is not to move.
But Africa, why do you think we're not included in the bargaining? As I would have said, I made my own assumptions earlier. Maybe it's just them saying, let's hurry up, get this development off the ground because we promised people jobs. Jobs need to happen. And all concerned are not...
Is not being fearful of losing that investor. Case in point, over at Nevis with the plan Project Destiny.
Yeah.
They need us as well as how we need them. They probably need us more than how we need them. Because this climate, this Caribbean, and at this moment, snowbirds are coming down. They're called snowbirds. And no offense to them. They like it. Because at this time of the year, this is when the folks migrate from the north, come down here for 2 weeks rather. So our value cannot be compromised. They need us, and we have to realize that why these people need us now, as well as we need the money for the economy. But it's like, where is the psychology? You cannot be flat-footed in this thing here. Okay? You cannot. The examples are there. So, over at the Destiny on Nevis, I'm going to replicate that because they're commonalities. Les Mark Brantley say that we on Thinkers have our own case to deal with, and we're not dealing with it. Yes, we're dealing with everything because it's Thinkers and Nevis, or Thinkers Nevis, right? So any issue pertaining to Thinkers or Nevis, we are on it. We are on it. We are on it. The few voices of the people must resonate to the masses of the people. And so they need us just like how we need them, but they need us more so. Because they will need a place to come down when snowbirds need to come down in the greener pastures and paradise. With that said, that is where our bargaining chip has to be grounded to allow the coexistence of the foreign investors. And it's not like what Mr. The gentleman earlier,
Mr. McMahon?
Mr. McMahon said that. Or a person's going to come and say, oh, what do you want? A beach shack or a Rich Carlton? No, we're talking about coexistence.
Yeah, because look, the Soggy Dollar Bar at the Sandcastle Hotel in the BVI, Soggy Dollar was always there. Sunset Bar at the Naples Beachfront Hotel in Florida. I think this is the one I referred to because I did read an article about that bar being there and the hotel built, and they just, I guess, had talks with the bar and just up the bar a little bit, and the bar is still there in the hotel.
And similarly, on Nevis, which Four Seasons, they're still there on Pinnis Beach, just a little stroll down.
But you think if they were directly in the way of the development of the Four Seasons, you didn't think they would have asked them to move?
according to my understanding, I want to think some of the bars was established after
Okay.
4 Seasons, but a little bit of wiggle room is not bad, as opposed to a sanitization, because here is the sanitization, you know, down on the western end. Is this proprietor and having half the beach, and so on the eastern end now it would be this other proprietor and having the other half of the beach. I mean, come on, it's not realistic. It cannot be right. And so we were going to lose all that authenticity of the island, where are people looking forward to come here and to go back to there because they're reminiscing of going back to there and having a good time. No, we cannot erase people's memories of paradise found at the expense of non-diplomatic approach to investors, you know, and so much is at stake. Because you're going to say, oh, you're going to displace them to what, start from scratch again? What about the persons who are employed there? What about those families, the multiplying effect of those families' livelihood? What about the man who has spent so much, has created a brand? Where is the brand? Where is the brand? How is the brand going to retain? Are you going to take the brand away from the man? And then all of a sudden you want to say, no? All of that should be in the negotiation, the negotiating team on our behalf. Like I said, I listened to the press conference last night, and then the question was asked about how can you mitigate these things in going forward. And then Dr. Timothy Harris said there have to be some laws put in place to mitigate these things. I mean, that sounds good. But what about on the behalf of the people once you're sitting in a room with these foreign investors and potential foreign investors, knowing that people were there on the beach bands? How are you going to coexist?
What?
You know, it's too much loss. Because on all these islands, there are so many examples that these beach bars has to be retained, to maintain the authenticity of a Caribbean people, our identity. So I concur. I share my solidarity with all 3 owners. Share them they're operating now, and so forth. That's my piece for today. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you, Africa. Always a pleasure having you join in on the conversation. All right. I think this is where we'll take our... Troy, this is where we take our leave for today because it's...
Yes, Hortensia, girl. Time flies when you're having fun. Creative Voices, that is up next. And do we have time to squeeze in our last caller because we have to play some ads? Let's squeeze in this caller.
Okay. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Hello, caller. Hello.
Yes.
Greg, make it quick, please. We have to make way for the next program to start on time.
Yes. What I also calling for, I got a bit mixed up there, but what I also calling for is that they need the Rastaman and all others who they locked up for the mere possession of cannabis, marijuana. They need to let them go, free them up, and fully legalize the marijuana. Matter of fact, I believe in the full legalization of all drugs because that's the biblical way to go.
Okay.
But at the very minimum, legalize the marijuana fully and all who've been locked up just for mere possession.
All right, Greg, we have to cut. I understand.
Thank you.
Maybe we can continue on Monday, but have a great one. Okay. Alrighty, folks, it was indeed a pleasure. We have to cut here to make way for the next program. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday, Godspeed.
That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on WinFM 98.9 for Weekly Dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly Dose, Tuesdays on WinFM 98.9.
Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it.
And you can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time. It's tea time. Whatever time. It's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly.